Welcome back. I'm Brent Meredith. My next guest is here tonight to help us all better understand the importance of next month's elections. We've got much to cover, so I'll keep this intro brief, and I'm excited to have attorney and activist Kevin Teets join us here tonight. Thank you, Kevin, for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brent.
I really appreciate it. Like I said, we got a lot to cover, and we're both fast talkers, so let's jump in, okay? Before we talk specifics, though, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here as an expert to talk about this.
Sure. I've enjoyed politics and campaigns. I was the former executive director of the Tennessee Democratic Party, managed campaigns here in Nashville, including the district attorney's campaign for Glenn Funk and Bill Freeman's campaign for mayor. We've got a lot of issues going on right now that are going to affect Tennesseans and especially the LGBT community, and I'm delighted to be here to discuss this. Good answer.
Good speed, too. All right. We're off and running. So I've tried to narrow down tonight's banter a little bit because, again, we could talk all day. There's so much to cover. And since we are pre-taped and things happen, something's happening probably right now that we don't know about while we're sitting here. I wanted to kind of keep this as an aerial view of the Tennessee elections that really affect us the most here locally. So let's start with the Tennessee governor's race. We've got Carl Dean versus Bill Lee. Lots to unpack here. So what's the big difference that strikes you between the two of these?
One candidate is going to consider the individuals in our community of value, of relevance, of people that matter. Another candidate has made his agenda thus far in his platform to be setting back our rights, turning back the clock on anything that has been accomplished thus far for the rights of LGBT people.
Do I get to guess which is which, or you?
You can take a guess. Yeah, you can guess if you wish, but seriously, Carl Dean is a candidate that I think Nashvillians, Tennesseans, anybody would be hard pressed to find a candidate that has been more pro-LGBT than Carl Dean. He was pro-LGBT before pro-LGBT was cool.
Well, he was. I remember him coming to the Pride Festival many years ago when he was first year as mayor, and he's been endorsed by TEP. I mean,
he's been endorsed by all the organizations that that value what we consider to be important. But just for the non-discrimination ordinance that he championed through Metro before any of the stuff around marriage equality had gone to the national level before it became federal law. Just the concept of workers having the dignity, being given and treated with dignity and the respect that they deserve, that they shouldn't be fired if they're doing business with the city of Nashville. Now, as we know, our state legislature did what they do oftentimes best and overturned that. But Carl Dean has been a champion day in, day through, and I think he'll be a fighter for pro.
Now, I want to contrast that a little bit with something that you shared with me from Bill Lee's campaign, which is his list of Tennessee values. And I think we're going to show those up here on screen here in just a moment so we can comment on those. Sure. There's a couple in particular that I know that you wanted to mention, so I'll let you kind of comment on these.
So these are the Tennessee values that you'll find on Bill Lee's website, if you know the link to these, because they're not on the public version of the website. But there's 6 listed here. There's actually 7 on the website. And out of these 7, these are the candidate's opportunity to tell voters what he cares about. We have at least 3, possibly 4, that are a direct attack to the LGBT community. We've got we cannot compromise on our religious liberty. We know very well that is an attack at LGBT progress that has been made, whether it be with the marriage decisions or whether it be have to deal with workplace discrimination. Marriage is between a man and a woman. That one's blatantly obvious. That apparently the Supreme Court precedents and the law of our nation does not apply to Bill Lee, or at least his way of governing. But here's the one that's really interesting to me. We need security and privacy for every student. That sounds as innocent. I'm behind that statement. Who wouldn't be behind that statement?
Well, until you read the rest of the statement.
Until you read it.
Yeah.
And if you start looking at what it says,
well, it says here, there are 2 sexes, female and male. Most education issues are best decided at the local level. So they lead in with security and privacy for students, talking about transgender bathrooms.
Correct.
So I mean, there you go.
It's another at least 3, potentially 4 of the values that this candidate has says are important to him. At least 4 of them are a direct attack to the LGBT way of life.
And I hate to rush us through, but we've only got a couple minutes. I want to make sure we talk about the U.S. Senate race. Anything else on Bill Lee and Carl Dean, real quick?
It's going to be a close race for those that thought they were doing a good thing by voting against Diane Black in the Democratic primary. You need to double down and get your friends out to vote for Carl Dean, because we've replaced the evil we knew with an evil that I think is arguably going to be more archaic.
Far worse. One we don't know. There's no voting record there. We've got about a minute and a half, so let's jump in real quickly. We've got a photo here of our Bredesen versus Blackburn. Where do we begin here? I mean, since we're so short on time, I'm just going to let you talk a little about this.
Sure. I'll just be consistent with what the campaign has said about these 2 candidates. Phil Bredesen is the candidate for you if you're looking for solutions, a way of not bickering constantly, the partisan back and forth that we've seen out of Washington, that Marsha Blackburn is very good at.
Yeah.
I think think that's whether we want somebody that's going to solve problems, has a track record of solving problems here in Tennessee, balanced the budget, was 8 years of governor here, and it has a proven solid foundation of being a problem solver.
Well, a problem solver in sort of across the aisle too. I mean, he's willing to work with anyone. He's even said if Trump has a good idea, I'll listen to it. You know, and
good idea is a good idea.
I mean, and that's so hard to find. And I think she's doubled down. Instead of having her having a debate, she has a rally with Trump. So I mean, that's where she's at, right? That's her card.
And she's canceled debates that were supposed to take place. She's backed out of those. So I mean,
she's literally playing the Trump card. That's her card.
Right. Yeah. If Marcia doesn't want to show up to work, she shouldn't have the job.
That is a fair point, and I love the way Bredesen has framed it as, you know, he's applying for this job. It is in fact a job, and you know, we're his employers.
Absolutely.
So listen, man, I know we could keep talking, and I want to have you back after the election if we can, okay? Because you've been a great help tonight. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
And before we'll be right. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, that's all the time we have tonight. We will see you next time on Out About Today.